Jump in the deep end, trying to swim but you're sinking.
Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. Today I'm bringing you guys a build for Corinth, and this is the Tenno Shotgun a lot of us have been waiting for about a year now. We saw the concept art and we've been waiting for years since that dev stream. So right now, one of the things that I will say before we begin, before we take a look at the review and also look at the stats, is that a lot of you should not judge this shotgun based on what we see in the previous weapons in the game. Because of the Tiger's Prime, a lot of people tend to judge every single gun and expect them to perform like the Tigers. So this is not going to perform like it, and we will take a look at the stats, and also hopefully that will help you determine if it is up to par or if it is somewhere around average. The Corinth is a dual fire mode shotgun, and just like you've seen in weapons like the Pandero and the Euphano Prime, this one also functions and works in a way that is similar. One side of this weapon functions like a regular shotgun, and the other side functions more like a grenade launcher. And just like a lot of you will guess, weapons like this seems to be split in between critical chance and also status chance, because DE seems to be going with that logic lately. I don't know if I like it or not, but we will see that with this weapon. Now the buckshot side, which is a shotgun size, has 30% critical chance with 2.8 multiplier. It has 12% status chance, which is basically nothing if you really think about it. And also it has an almost spread between impact and slash, and this weapon is going to be primarily puncture because the puncture damage comes with 226.8. So that is something that we can see as a little bit of a good thing, because the Tiger's Prime is a slash weapon and this one is leaning towards the puncture side. So it might be a favor or something that we might see to be much of a favor for a lot of us when it comes to damage, considering that they are reviewing and trying to rework and rebalance IPS. Now when it comes to the air burst size, which is the grenade side, it comes with 4% critical chance, which is basically pointless. They might as well give it 0. And it also comes with 28% status chance, which is the main deal. At that 28%, you can push it somewhere around 99, or if you have a Riven mod for it, you might be able to get it to 100. Now this side also deals 100 impact damage and also 404 blast damage. They might as well just make it 400, but they made it 404 for some reason. Now I would have preferred a slash damage when it comes to that blast, or I would have preferred something that does maybe a little bit of a puncture instead of just impact and blast. I would have preferred slash and blast or puncture and blast, because that will make it deal a lot more damage and also much more viable. Now this is also the main reason why the air burst is mostly good for crowd control, because it's mostly impact and it will not work really well the way you would expect it to when you are going with high levels. Now it will kill low levels easily. You just have to shoot it, trigger it, and everything will just melt in one sitting. And also in most cases, as the enemies begin to scale, then it begins to ragdoll them, and that is something that we really do not want. And I've tested this and I say that after level 50, it begins to ragdoll enemies a lot, and I do not like that. Now the other thing about this grenade is also the fact that it doesn't detonate unless it travels for about 20 meters. This means you cannot use it in close quarters. You will literally have to shoot it up in the air and just hope that it travels 20 meters, or maybe it hits something and then detonates. If it doesn't travel that far, then you are not going to see an explosion. Everything will drop down and fall off, and it makes it so painful, mainly because the radius of that explosion is also at 8 meters, which is something that I'm thinking DE should have buffed it to maybe around 15, or maybe at least something around 12 to make it a little bit much useful. But I'm hoping to see some changes, maybe push it around 10 and just give it a round and even number. So you will basically have to use a Jetstream Zephyr in most cases, or you can try using Volt as well. That might also be working for you. That might actually work a lot much better, because I also tested this out on Volt as well. Now the shotgun side can also become painful because of the fire rate. It is a little bit slower. However, the critical chance for this shotgun side makes it a lot much better. 30% critical chance is very high. It is very huge, and it makes it a lot much better when it comes to mid to late game. And that is something that we can see to be very helpful in most situations. And whenever you get into those high level and tighter situations, this will really help you out. Now the great thing about this weapon is that you can also fire it while reloading, you don't really have to reload the entire magazine before you can fire it. You can put in one bullet and still be able to fire this weapon, so that is also one of the really cool and great things about it, and I'm actually glad that features like that are still available in Warframe. Now, like most weapons in the game, a lot of people tend to test them against high level targets, and that is what I've also done as well. So I tested them against level 130 to see how much they perform, if it deals a lot of damage, kills them faster, or if it does a little bit of a CC. And I will say it is really good, but not amazing as you will say on a Tigress Prime level. And I actually ended up putting 2 Formas on mine, mainly because 2 Forma is where it is at. Now if you have a Riven mod, you can bump it up to maybe 3, but unless you put 2 Formas on it, you will not really have the versatility that you need, and that is what makes this build really work for me. Now I'm using my Vigilante Volt with my Vigilante mod setup, and that actually also helps me as well with a critical chance, and this setup gives me orange crits from time to time, and also one of the main reasons why make me really appreciate this build and also make me appreciate this setup. Now if you're not going somewhere around or maybe higher than level 50, then you can do away with Hunter munitions, but I am actually using Hunter munitions mainly because of that slash proc, and I need that to deal a lot of damage when I am using the buckshot side. Now as far as the blast side, I really don't care much about it. I only or mostly use that for crowd control because that is the main usefulness of it. In most cases, you will not really be able to deal damage, it is just impact and blast. And most high level enemies, mostly something around corrupted, they are not going to take any damage from impact and blast. Well, maybe a few damage, but not a lot of damage. Now I can say that this setup is not really bad, mainly because I'm able to take down a level 130 in few shots, and I also didn't have to empty the entire magazine just for one enemy. But once again, this is not a Tigress Prime, and I will advise a lot of you guys not to look at it or give it the expectations of a Tigress Prime or a Tigress. And let's just be honest with ourselves, we can hope and pray that this stays the same or gets a lot much better when damage 2.5 comes out. Now the weapon is a mastery rank 10 weapon, but the good news about that is also the fact that you can buy the blueprint at the market, and this is one of the few weapons that has been available in the market since day one. So DE hasn't done this in a while, so I'm guessing this is an early Christmas present. Now getting this weapon is a choice that I will leave to you. I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, it's all a matter of your own choice. Now for me personally, it's a really good weapon, it's a nice weapon. You can use it as a mastery fodder, but that is also a decision for you to make. But just know that it's not going to perform once again like the Tigress or the Tigress Prime. And also let me know what you think about this weapon as well, if you've tested it out or if you have modded yours as well. If you like the video, if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel for more Warframe. And as always, it is DA signing out. I'll see you guys in the next one.